Hey everyone, it's going to be a super quick video today, so stay tuned. Unless I happen to run off on a tangent, I suppose, but that's not the plan. Look, I need to throw out there and basically issue a redaction, sort of, or maybe an apology, or maybe just a clarification. Yeah. Look, in the last video market update that I released probably about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I was talking about how the interest rates were coming down and how this is such a good thing for buyers. And it was going to be great for the market overall because all these flooding of buyers are going to come back into the market and buy up all of this standing inventory that we've got. Well, my hope was that that was going to basically turn around the market and things were going to be rip-roaring hot again, nice hot, seller's market again. At least that was my hope, and that was what I thought was going to happen. And because I'm an optimist, and I thought we were ready to go finally. Now, to be fair, interest rates had been falling for months and months, and had just ticked down to like 6.02, I believe it was. And the Fed was just about to cut their rate for the first time. Remember, that was over a month ago. And maybe they did cut it, or maybe they had just cut it, or were just about to. Either way, we knew it was going to happen. And even though that doesn't directly correlate, the economic signs were good. Problem is, the economic signs were too good. The very next day after I released that video, the jobs report came out the very next day, and hooray, we created a whole bunch of jobs. But the problem was, that's a good thing. That's a bad thing for rates. It's a good thing for the economy, bad things for rates. We've talked about this in some of the other videos that we've talked about. That and lowering inflation, all good things. Problem is, the economic outlook and the indicators were too good. And so the bond market and the mortgage rates did the opposite. Interest rates shot back up to like 7%. Yikes. All that affordability that we were just clawing back, poof, gone. So this is me putting my foot in my mouth because I spoke too soon. But did I? I mean, the video was titled, "Buyers, the time is now, why you can't afford to wait another day." Which was actually exactly correct. And there was a small bump in activity over the last month, carrying into now what we have is November. There was actually a pretty significant bump in activity. In fact, we had a great month. But I will concede that I thought that the rates were going to continue on a downtrend and that the market as a whole would be in much better shape than it is right now. And technically, according to the latest stats that we just pulled up a few days ago, the median price in Bend has ticked back up to its all-time high of $800,000. Damn. So what does this look like moving forward? Interest rates are still stupid high. And heck, prices have now, as we just learned, have returned to our all-time high of $800,000, the median price for a home in Bend, Oregon right now. I'm actually skeptical that that's a sustainable trend on the upswing. My best guess is that things are actually going to stay on the low burner for a while, certainly through the end of this year. And who knows, maybe mortgage rates will stay volatile for a while. At this point, I have no idea what to expect with rates, and I'm honestly tired of being wrong. But aside from what the rates are doing, I want to actually talk about what it's like out there in the market right now. Since the last market update, we've put 5 homes in contract, and right now, the market is very, very interesting. In one instance, we got $100,000 off the price of a house, which is great. And in another one of our deals, we had to go in at full price. Things right now are just wild. Okay, so real estate is like a double-edged sword. If the market is good for sellers, that means that there's a lot of buyers out there and they're competing for homes and driving up prices. Now, oftentimes I would refer to this as a good market or a hot market because prices are going up. Now, I own real estate, so it's good for me, and generally speaking, we deal with a lot of clients who either own real estate or are buying more. So they want the prices to go up. But the other edge of that sword is when it's actually good for buyers. This would mean that there are plenty of homes for sale. So many, in fact, that the buyers can't possibly buy them all up. And in order to sell a property in this kind of environment, you need to attract buyers in any way that you can. And for most people, the best way to attract buyers is with price. One of the best ways to secure an offer is to lower the price. And when the prices come down, that's good for buyers, as long as it doesn't keep going down for too long. Timing the market is hard. You want to buy a house at a low price, but you also don't want to immediately lose any value if the price continues to slide further and further down. Which brings me to my next point. Hang on, look, this is usually one of those kinds of videos that does pretty well on our channel. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop you right there and ask you to subscribe. You're not gonna regret it. Yeah, we talk about all kinds of real estate things, but we also just kind of talk about all kinds of Ben things, like paddleboarding, hiking, fishing, new food truck lots, all kinds of good stuff. So go ahead, hit subscribe and the little bell notification, and we'll look forward to seeing you in future videos to come. Right, my next point. The market right now is literally neither. It's like there's a third edge to this sword. It's neither good for sellers nor good for buyers, which is also kind of like a double negative, so maybe it's good for both. Remember the whole optimistic thing? Rates are high and affordability is terrible. But also, nobody wants to sell, so prices aren't decreasing either. It's like a balanced, unaffordable market where nobody can move. To be very general here, prices aren't necessarily going up or down. Yes, on the micro, they go down a little bit month by month here and there, and like we just saw that this month, they've come back up. But on the macro, it's been kind of stable for the last couple years. We're stuck. And unfortunately, it only seems like interest rates will have an effect on this, and or a massive swell of inventory, this new construction inventory, if that happened to hit the market. Certainly wouldn't hurt. Now, I also mentioned that we've recently sold some homes, and that is primarily due to the fact that our clients, generally speaking, have a large amount of cash to put down. And purchases become much more palatable when you're not financing 85 to 90% of the purchase price. If you're buying $1 million house and you've only got 10% down, that payment's gonna hurt a lot more than if you're buying $1 million house and you've got like 60% to put down, right? And then of course, if it's all cash, there's no mortgage payment whatsoever, and there's also no interest paid whatsoever. That's really nice. And that could also be another big reason why we just saw median home prices jump up in the last month alone. After mortgage rates jacked back up to 7% about 4 weeks ago, a lot of those first-time home buyers hit the timeout button and jump back up on the fence. Sorry, they just can't afford it. So the transactions that have recently taken place were with more cash flush and higher price point buyers, obviously increasing the median price point there. Just a thought, just my theory. There are so many things going on at the moment. We have a new president incoming, we have wars that are reaching a potential climax, and all the while it seems as though the Fed believes we're coming out of uncertainty and that a soft landing is possible. I, for one, am excited about 2025, and I encourage you to be excited as well. Hug and love on your family, enjoy the holidays, and if you are thinking about buying or selling this next year, give us a call, reach out so we can begin making a plan. One thing I do know is that overall 2025 is poised to be a much better real estate year than 2024. Initial estimates have come out that we're going to grow and see anywhere from 9 to 15% growth in sales. So things will begin to loosen as these interest rates do start to come down. Again, I'm so tired of trying to guess when that's gonna happen though. All I know is that when it is time for you to make that move, we have our fingers squarely on the pulse, week by week, heck, even day by day. Speaking of being on the pulse, maybe it's not you. Maybe you just know somebody who's thinking about buying or selling in the next year. If so, we would love to be their real estate resource of choice. So share this video, maybe share this channel, and if not, we will definitely see you over in the next one. Be sure to check us out at cromrealestate.com. We'll see you next week. Bye.